Welcome to the Weekly Homicide Report, the weekly program where we talk about all the people that needlessly died at the hands of another person. So let's take a look at this week's graph. Chicago had 8 homicides, the second time they've been under 10 homicides in a week in 5 weeks. Philadelphia also had 8 homicides. This is the second week in a row they've had 8 murders. Baltimore had 4 homicides, their lowest weekly total in a month. Milwaukee also had 4 murders. This is their weekly average. And Washington, D.C. showed 0, which either means they had none or their system wasn't updated. They averaged closer to 4, but did show 0 in 1 week 7 weeks ago as well, so maybe it really was 0. And Minneapolis registered 1 homicide. They averaged 1 to 2, so that's pretty normal there. There were 17 mass shootings last week. Just when you thought this would start slowing down as the temperature drops, but shooting people has become an American pastime in some cities, and they just can't help themselves. I covered a couple of them. There was a fairly large one in Chicago on Halloween. No one died, but 14 were injured. Chicago has to be grateful that these shooters have such bad aim, because with all the mass shootings they have there, their homicide numbers would be double if more people were fatally struck in these. 6 children under the age of 11 and 30 between the ages of 12 and 17 were shot and killed last week. 1,413 kids under the age of 17 have been killed by gunfire this year. That's an average of 4.6 per day. Last year's average was 4.3 per day. So things are a little worse in that area. There were 21 defensive use of a firearm incidents reported. I covered a few of them and will continue to cover these as they are very important for people to hear about. We average about 70 murders a day in America, at least by my calculations, and there are no signs that's going to go down anytime soon. Well, that's all I have for you today, but I'll be back next week with the week 45 numbers. Until then, have a great week, and I'll catch you next week. Support this channel and pick yourself up some original crime-related apparel. Look for the link in the description.